Hello there, this is Lloyd at Intasound. Sadly, lockdown is upon us again, so I thought no better time to get my pretty face behind the camera and show you how to restring a guitar. There are many ways of restringing a guitar. Some people will say their way is right. There's certainly wrong ways of doing it, so I want to show you how to avoid the wrong ways and show you a few different ways of doing it, which I find correct. I've been doing it for 20 plus years, so let's get going. So I've already started off taking the strings off this side to speed up the process. Still got the 3 on here. Some people will say take one string off, put one string on. Doesn't really make that much of a difference. Very much the purists might say that. It's good when all the strings are off, because then you can get into the neck and give it a clean and a treatment with something like lemon oil, which I can go into on another video. So all I'm doing really is just slackening off the strings, get them nice and loose, get my snips, give them a cut. You don't want to have the strings tight when you cut them, because it'll make you jump and it can hurt. So the strings are off there, can just pull them off the top. Careful of the sharp edges, they do hurt. You get a very achy finger when you get stabbed with a string. A tool to use, very simple string winder. These are about £2.50, or we do the posh one, which is this one here, which has got a string cutter built into it. It's about £8.95. Much better string winder, a lot smoother, a lot quicker. But more importantly, there's a groove in the base. So with that groove, you can actually get underneath the buttons, or the pegs, sorry, and you can pop them up sometimes. Try this one. They can be a bit stubborn sometimes. If that's the case, what you can do, as long as you're careful, get some snips and just get it behind the button and just give it a little pinch. Try and avoid the wood so you don't scratch it, and that'll raise it up so you can pull the pegs out. I'm going to do a quick video, but I thought I'd do a long one so I can waffle in between. Different types of strings you can use. What I'm doing with this guitar here, I'm going with a 12 gauge string. So with the acoustic strings you get different gauges. The lower the number, so you'll either get 10s, 11s, 12s or 13s. The lower the number, the thinner the string, so the lighter it will be. The heavier the number, the heavier string, so it'll be a bit more tension. If you like doing drop tuning and things like that, go for like a 13. 12s is what I'm putting on now. That's what you'd get with a new guitar when you buy it. 11s still get the same sound you get with a 12, but a bit more play in the thinner strings, or 10s for ease of play, but you do lose a bit of tone. Let's get these open here. You can see they're numbered here, so 54 being the heaviest, 12 being the lightest. So when restringing, you get your string out. Now's a good time to give it a little clean, because you've got access to the full body. Guitar polish is good from that. Avoid things like Mr. Sheen and things like that, because that will give you like a wax layer, which is never good for a guitar. So guitar polishes are more water based. So here we go. So first string, going to put it in there. You get the ball end, and then you've got the peg, and you'll see the peg has a little groove in the middle there. Just push the ball end in, groove facing forward, get it in, push that down, give the string a little pull, and then that's your string in there. Now, the wrong ways of doing it. This is the problems we find when people come in with a guitar thinking there's a fault with it, or strings keep breaking. The two main culprits of that is either, you can see it's quite a long string here. Now, if I was to use the entire length of the string, I would have a great big Christmas tree of string wrapped around it. What that will do, that puts a lot of tension on the machine head itself, so it gets very stiff when you're tuning it. It puts a lot of pressure on the cog in the machine head, which could cause that to wear, and then it will click, and then you'll be constantly turning your machine head and it won't tune up. The other problem is, if I just get this facing forward, that through there, pull the string tight. If you pull the string through and then think, okay, that's it, and I just start tightening it, and a lot of people do this, the problem we have here is that you get a pressure point right on the edge there where the string goes through the hole, and then there's not enough string to support the tension, so that will be a break point, and then you'll regularly get breakages at that point. So the best way of doing it is getting 2 to 3 winds around that string, and a good way of measuring that is, as you see, I've put the string through the hole, pulled that forward. use the next machine head as a measuring point. So you normally want generally about 1.5 to 2 inches, which will give you the 2 to 3 winds. The first way I'm going to show you, this is the way, it's the quickest way I find. This is what Martin Taylor do in their workshops, so how they string their guitars. Quite simply pull the string through, pinch it at the next machine head, go back with it, so that's my slack there. You can just give it a little bend up there. The important thing when winding a string and to get a neat wind is to control the wind with your finger here. So what I do, I just put my finger down there to push it, and then sometimes I will lift the string up with my fingers behind, so then I can start winding it. And as you see, the wind's going to the bottom. And there you see, 2 to 3 winds. You always want the string going to the base of the machine head when it's coming from the body, because what that'll do, that'll give you the angle and it'll give you the tension on the string. If you go to the top of the machine head, you're going to get a very loose string, and it's going to be quite buzzy and sometimes can slip out of the nut in some occasions. So that's the first way, nice and simple, very quick. I'm going to go for my next string. Peg it in there. Another way of doing it, which some people do, is you can see I've got the hole now at a right angle. So what I can do, I can put the peg in, pull it tight, I go round once and then feed through the hole like this. Oh, got it caught on there, sorry. Pull it through like that and pull the other one, and that started my first wind. And then just wind that up. As you can see, it's exactly the same as the first one, just another way of doing it. Still got the string to the top and the string at the bottom there, so the angle's right. I personally prefer the first method. I find it a little bit less fiddly, but would see whichever one works best for you. And another way of doing it, which I've seen on a few videos, is people pre-cut the string. So what you can do, I'll go for the hole forward, feed that through, measure it to the end. So when you find out you go to when you've got no more machine heads to measure, generally the end of the headstock will be the same distance between the machine heads or thereabouts. So what I can do, I measure it, I can cut it. Problem with this, doesn't leave much room for error. So if you mismeasure it or cut it too short, you're going to be stuck. And also, unless you get really close on the end, you're going to get that sharp point scratching against your finger. So you can see exactly the same, and there's always a little bit left to cut there. So that's the basis of restringing a guitar. So it's just a nice simple video to show you. If you want to have a go at it at home, if you want to order some strings or you need anything like the string winders, you can get them on the website. I'm going to implement a code for lockdown, so anyone who watches this video and wants to try it, if you use the discount code of, what should we go for? Lockdown 3 is what we'll call it. Use that and you'll get a 10% discount. You can either get them posted out to you or you can do a click and collect. So yeah, thank you very much. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments and then we can address them in another video. Thank you.